Welcome back to Sports News. Right now I'm joined by Desmond Braden, Monticello football coach out in New Glarus. Desmond, thanks for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me.
So your program is a bit different, as you and I were talking off of air. What makes your program different, or what's unique about that Monticello program?
Probably two of the biggest things that make us different is just the relationship between the athletes and the coaches. It's a lot more like a family than a team. And then the other big thing is you know, our number one goal of our program is the type of kids we produce. We're more concerned with that than the wins and losses.
And you mentioned the type of kids you produce out of high school being student athletes first. What are some of the ways you develop that character? What sort of development programs do you use with your team?
The three main things we do is during the season we have a leadership council, so players are on there to discuss different issues. In the spring we also have leadership classes. And then during the season each week the kids have a character lesson packet, and so each week we go through a different character lesson.
And I understand with that, on top of those character lessons, you have a lot of volunteer programs available to your athletes as well?
Yeah, we really stress on volunteer aspects. So New Glarus has a lot of different festivals, so throughout the summer we do a couple setups and cleanups for those. And then the big one we do throughout the year is we go up to Wisconsin Badger Camp for developmentally disabled. And so we take up about 40 athletes, and they spend half the day doing cleanup for the program, or for the camp, and then the other half of the day they interact with the campers.
Sounds excellent. That also gives your athletes a chance to bond and become more of a team as opposed to just doing good, so there's some advantage to that as well.
Oh yeah, a lot of advantages.
Can you talk to us about your students and the players that you're working with, just a little bit about the team?
They're just a great group of kids. You know, they're very high achieving in the classroom as well as on the fields. You know, they're a fun group to be around. It's one of those times where you actually enjoy going to practice all the time or working with them in the weight room. You know, you're always proud seeing them in the community, so it's always a joy working with them.
I know your boys are probably looking forward towards summer vacation coming up, but that means spring practice is right around the way as well. Any expectations for next season as you kind of see the team you're going to be bringing back and what Monticello is going to be able to do?
We got very high expectations for next year. I don't think I've ever gone into an off season this deep. We got about 18 starters back, 32 letter winners. Our overall numbers are up, so very high expectations.
Well, Desi, we are running out of time. I want to thank you for joining us here on the Sports News today. That is Desi Braden, Monticello head football coach. We'll be right back with more of the Sports News after this.